I honestly don't know what's happened to Russell Brand recently.
When we talk about scale in online spaces, the extrapolation of scale from how we might have lived for tens, hundreds of thousands of years to these civilized urban models, and now these online virtual models that are limitless in the potential information you might encounter, the number of tribes you might have encountered, the number of opinions you might encounter. It seems to me that we have to recognize that of all the things we're discussing here, some things that seem fundamentally important, at least to me, that we must find ways of allowing communities to have as much self-regulatory power as possible. And in order to do that, we're going to have to accept that there are aesthetics and flavors and customs and manners and means that are highly, highly diverse. And the only principles that we might lean into are things, to return to an earlier comment I made, like kindness, like compassion. I'm not throwing discernment out of the window, but I'm trying to recognize where that discernment might be better be reserved for myself. To your most recent point, how am I being Christ-like? How am I?
It is better generally reserved to yourself.
And may I say, sir,
What was that question? What? Can I skip that back? Because I don't even know what the fuck he's talking about.
highly, highly diverse. And may I say, sir, that with regard to this sort of what seems to be forming the centre of our conversation currently, can we focus this propensity for judgment and this requirement for accountability towards where I regard...
This is what I fucking say all the time. Like, all you need to do as a fucking white man is say something with the fucking conviction that someone like Russell Brand or Jordan Peterson would. Even if it doesn't fucking mean anything. And people will listen to you and be like, yeah, that's so fucking profound. What the fuck is he going on about?
Can we focus this propensity for judgment and this requirement for accountability towards where I regard real power to be residing? Where is power actually? Who is determining outcomes? Who is acquiring land? Who is acquiring resources? Who is pushing an agenda for surveillance and the capture of data? And for me, this cultural issue, whilst I recognize that from your Jungian perspective, that in the matter of polarity, in the matter of absolute taxonomy, is significant. It seems to me of more immediate importance that we say, how are Pfizer able to redact countless pages? How is the CIA able?
Is that the point that he was trying to get to the entire time? Why is Pfizer redacting information? Is that the point that he was trying to get to the entire time? Fucking kill me.
Able to infiltrate Twitter and Facebook and determine their policies? How are the Democrat Party and Justin Trudeau able to pose as socially tolerant while ultimately legislating and regulating on behalf of transnational corporations? This is the trans issue that I want to see addressed. These are the people and institutions that I want to see.
Wait. What? Who told me to watch this video? Because I'm gonna fucking explode. I'm gonna fucking explode. Who told me to watch this? I need to rewind that because that was insane.
CIA able to infiltrate, do we say, taxonomy is significant. It seems to me of more immediate importance that we say, how are Pfizer able to redact countless pages? How is the CIA able to infiltrate Twitter and Facebook and determine their policies? How are the Democrat Party and Justin Trudeau able to pose as socially tolerant while ultimately legislating and regulating on behalf of transnational corporations? This is the trans issue that I want to see addressed. These are the people and institutions that I want to see in the crosshairs, because this is what I think will meaningfully affect the lives of as many people as possible, will impact poverty, will create opportunity for collaboration and collusion. So can we attack these institutions that are not being subject to the level of scrutiny that you're applying in issue A to issue B? Can we start?
Well, this is why I like talking to you. Like, I think that
he's worn out after all of that word salad. He's like, Jesus fucking Christ! I don't know where that came from. None of that meant anything. Why did you make me watch this? I'm gonna fucking melt.
the work you're doing on the anti-fascist front, you're like the only Antifa person I've ever met that I really think is...
Did he call him an Antifa? What? Antifa? Did he... Antifa? Did he say Antifa person? Oh, God. I'm gonna melt. No! I hate this. I hate all of this. Don't make me watch this. I can't take it. I can't take it.
Fascist means to bind together. And what's happening, what you object to constantly is your...
Did he just say fascist means to bind together? Oh! Shall we Google the definition of fascism? What's that Twitch streamer called that Googled the meaning of fascism recently? What's his name? Aiden Ross. I'm going to do the exact same thing. What's fascism? What is a fascism? Fascism is a far-right authoritarian ultranationalist political ideology and movement characterized by a dictatorial leader, centralized autocracy, militarism, forcible suppression of opposition, belief in a natural social hierarchy, subordination of individual interests for the perceived good of the nation and race, and strong regimentation of society and economy. That really sounds like it kind of aligns with a lot of what Jordan Peterson aligns with. But no, the real meaning,
binding together.
That's what Hitler was always saying. Every speech he ever made on those microphones that he invented, he was like, guys, we need to
bind. We need to bind together.
I'm not gonna get through this video without exploding.
You would say to me, I like to be called they, her. No problem. I'll do it because kindness. I've already got that covered.
Don't tell Jordan Peterson to call someone they.
So first of all, generally speaking, that's what I would do. Now, I wouldn't invariably do it because I'm not going to address someone in a manner that I don't think is good for them. But...
that I don't think is good for them. Me personally. Because I'm the main character of everybody's life and I know what's best for everybody and I know everybody's pronouns, me personally. And I can make that decision based on what I think that they look like they should be called. That's the best way that it should be because I'm Dr. Jordan Peterson.
I only object,
Jordan. You can't make that judgment.
Yes, you can. You can.
Wow.
Especially, but you do it all the time when you're a clinician. And, and I do it very judiciously. And most of the time, because I am fundamentally, despite myself in many ways, a very compassionate person, I'm very willing to do precisely that. But that wasn't the issue for me. The issue was that it became mandatory.
Didn't he just completely just contradict what he just fucking said? He literally just said, I want to call people's pronouns whatever I think their pronouns should be. But I only really had an issue with me being punished if I didn't do that. But what does that even fucking mean? You're still saying if someone tells you that their pronouns are something different than what you assume them to be, then you would refuse to call them those pronouns because you're still going to call them what you think from your point of view their pronouns should be. But then you're like, oh, but I only have a problem with being punished if you don't call them by those pronouns. The right basically distracts people with this culture war shit of language and pronouns. Their campaign is basically pronouns, and teachers are grooming kids to be LGBT these days. And that's the policies that they run their campaigns with, when in reality, their actual policies are reducing taxes for the rich and basically, benefits for the elite.
This is also partly the danger of elevating compassion to the ultimate virtue, because you You also enable the narcissists of compassion to garner power to themselves by claiming a compassion they don't have. If you look at how especially the green leftists have reacted, if their option is starve the poor to save the planet, they'll starve the poor.
What? Like this is the times when like Jordan Peterson really needs to be interjected on during these conversations. Like, you can't just let him say that and then just move on. He needs to be interjected and challenged when he says something like that.
And so that makes me wonder, well, is your goal to save the planet, which, by the way, is a very difficult thing to do, or is your goal to starve the poor? Because you're not saving the bloody planet, and you're definitely starving the poor.
I love it when he just gets suddenly angry like that. Well, is your plan to save the poor? Or is it not to save the poor? He does like literally every interview he ever does. There's this crazy like leftist person in his head that he's like arguing with him. You're like this, but then I'm like this, but then you're like this, and then I'm like this. And everybody watching him's like, oh man, it's so profound. Wow. You've got to watch the Peterson rat video now. Is that my tax for watching a Jordan Peterson video? I've got to watch the rat video.
The rats are all like this. The rat goes like this. So the rat's like this. The normal rat is like this. That's the normal rat. Like this. Like this. It sniffs. It's like this for quite a while. He's like this. And then maybe he sniffs. You are now a normal rat. You're ready, man. Most of you aren't foaming at the mouth. And, you know, like fundamentally, why?